Q&A Part 3, the final solution. That's right, this is going to be it. There's not going to be a Part 4. So, next question. Justin Fisher asks, who do you find to be the most overrated novelist? I don't mean to evade or elude the question, but I don't think in those terms of like overrated. If there's somebody I don't like, then I don't read them. And if there's somebody who I think gets a lot of attention, but they're not worthy of getting that much attention, and then I kind of wonder, is that just me being catty? I mean, it's easy enough for me to say, Stephen King, you're not that great. You're not that great. People should be reading me. People should be reading my books, not your books. I should be a millionaire, not you. So I just don't think in those terms. It's not because I'm, such a morally upright or ego free kind of person. I'm aware of the pitfalls. It's hard when you are in the field of writing. When you are a writer, it's very hard to be objective. If somebody else is more successful than you, and you don't think they're very good, but then you question. You kind of question yourself. Like, well, they're doing something right. They're reaching a lot of people. Their fans like them. Are their fans just wrong? I mean, is there? It's like, so. This is why I can't really answer that question. I'm sorry. I wish I could just be like. I wish I could be just like so and so doesn't know how to write, and come up with some of these sort of devastating put downs, like like you would find from I don't know, like from Gore Vidal or somebody like that. I know that would be entertaining, but I'm just not that entertaining. Of all the fictional character names you've come up with, what is your favorite? I would say my favorite fictional name that I've come up with is the villainess of my newest published work, The Insurrectionist. Her name is Dr. Gretchen Smuts-Ague. Dr. Gretchen Smuts-Ague. she's the president of the New World Order. That's my favorite name. I'm pretty proud of that name. I think anytime you name somebody, if you're a writer and you come up with a name for your character, the name has to be resonant in some way, but it still has to sound like a name. So that's why I sometimes write and I leave a character unnamed, because maybe because it's best that they not have a name, but also because I don't want to just come up with some generic name that doesn't have much resonance. So whenever I the names that I have for my characters, like Tony Meander in the Columbine Pilgrim. Or what are some of my other names? I can't think of any other names right now. But the if I do come up with a name, it has to be a name that has resonance and meaning. So, and who's the best name giver to characters that I know of is George Lucas. if this were the early 1800s, I might say Charles Dickens. I mean, he was a the names that he gave to some of his characters were, I mean, wow, Ebenezer Scrooge. Like, where do you pull that name out of? But it suits him, doesn't it? It suits him perfectly. Um, it's right on the line of being parody, uh, but it suits. But it's not parody. It's actually fitting. And names from Star Wars like Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Organa like life, Han Solo because he does things on his own, Luke Skywalker, bound for for adventure among and abilities like walking in the sky. All of these names. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know what that is, but there's like an Asian kind of resonance to that, like a samurai. Um, all of his names are so great; they're so wonderful. Uh, so yeah, there's a real you can't just be slipshod with names. Names are important. Um, WTF am I watching? Says, how do you keep up with all the new slang and music? I am an 80s baby because there are no 76 babies, and sometimes I have to refer to the Urban Dictionary. Well, I've referred to the Urban Dictionary myself. I don't know. Am I that hip? Do I know all the new slang? Um, like after this whole Astro World fiasco, this disaster, this atrocity that was Astro World, that was when I first heard people talking about raging. Like, you know, it's not slam dancing anymore. It's not a mosh pit. It's raging. Did you know about that? That was the first I'd heard people talking about that. And it's the same idea of just going nuts and dancing in a way that's kind of dangerous and violent and aggressive. Um, and if you take part in it, you're a rager. You know, that was new to me. Okay, of all the following characters, which one do you identify with? Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver, Arthur Fleck from The Joker, Jack Torrance from The Shining, the main character from Fight Club, or Donnie Darko. I would definitely say Travis Bickle, Arthur Fleck, and the main character from Fight Club would be a close. I would say Travis and Arthur would come in first place uh, in a tie, and the main character from Fight Club would be slightly behind, just because I don't really have. I'm not really someone who's ever felt the pull to structure my life based on what's in some trendy catalog or whatever, which is what his character was like uh, before he discovered his shadow side, um, which is Tyler Durden. But as far as Travis Bickle and Arthur Fleck, I'd say, even though obviously there are personality differences, the the degree to which I could relate and identify with them is painful. Um, okay, when Eagles Dare asks, when would you say it was the most inciting moment or realization of the nature of the dark reality we live in? I've said this before, but it was the Franklin scandal. It was the uncovering of the Franklin scandal, and again, that was the start of it all. That was what that was the event that made me realize that the authorities would rather take the side of corrupt and sadistic and sexually depraved, uh, powerful people over their victims and would re-victimize their victims, and do whatever they could to get rid of them, uh, for the sake of keeping the system going. That was what I learned from the Franklin scandal. I learned to see that the whole system is absolutely corrupt at its very core, and demonic, um, at its very core. And that was a big thing to. It was not an easy thing to learn. It was like when Indiana Jones gets forced to drink the blood of Kalima in this very intense and disturbing scene. He tries to spit it out, but they force it down his throat, and then he's writhing and screaming, and um, uh, it was the same kind of. That was how I felt. I felt like Indiana Jones after he drank the blood of Kalima. Of course, Steven Spielberg, director of the movie, is probably a part of this whole thing, but I still love the movie. Um, what are some where Eagles Dare also asks, what are some counter psychological things you do to yourself to combat the negativity of this? Again, I say, like I was saying in the video the other day, pay attention to the things that nurture you. Pay attention to and pursue the things that make you happy. Uh, if you if you find yourself uh, opening something on the internet, whether it's a video or whatever, and you know that this is just going to piss you off, and it's only going to make you feel worse about everything, then don't do it. And that's why with Morrissey, I say stop watching the news, because the news conspires to or contrives to destroy you or something like that, make you feel small, make you feel your mind isn't your own. There's some great line about that. It's from his song "Spent the Day in Bed." Uh, Todd Thundercock asks, "Someone told me you wanted to stream with me. Were they lying, Scott?" It's funny that there are people out there who are just like trying to start shit or whatever. Like, hey Todd, you know what? You know what I heard from Andy? Andy Nowicki, I heard he wants to do a show with you. He wants to do a stream with you. What do you think about that? I mean, no, Todd, if you're watching, I never. People asked me if I would do a stream with you, and I said, I was sort of like, well, okay, sure, I guess, but I also know that you have expressed doubt about me, about my integrity, and have said that you think I'm a glowy, or that you suspect that I'm a glowy. So if you think I'm CIA, Todd, I don't know. Do you want to stream with me? Um, and I'd be open to doing a stream with you or with anyone. But I think the thing is, if I have a conversation with someone, or if I do an interview with someone, I want it to go somewhere. I want it to have a direction. I don't want it to just to be two guys shooting the breeze. I think that's boring. If we talked, you and I, Todd, what would we talk about? What would you like to ask me? What would you like for me to ask you? How could we get some direction to it and make it interesting and entertaining and you know and intriguing? Uh, I don't want to. There are lots of other people out there who have YouTube channels or whatever, or do stuff online, and I think they're interesting, or I watch them from time to time. But the only ones I really want to talk to are the ones who I think, I hear some questions I'd really like to put to this guy or this girl. Those are the interviews I end up doing, is with someone who I'm intrigued to to talk to. So Todd, I'm open to it. Even if you think I'm a glowy, I'm open to it. Open to talking to you. But I'd like to know first, what would we talk about? What would be the, I don't want to just shoot the breeze with anybody. I think that's boring. I think that's lame. And you probably do too. Okay. And we'll end on this wonderful question from Bob from Sorry Games. Bob asks, when is the last time you saw a woman's butthole? And the answer is never. I've never seen that sight. And I intend to keep that streak going for many, many years to come. In fact, if I die and I've never seen a woman's butthole, I will be a happy man. I will not feel like I missed out on anything. And on that note, we come to a close. So thank you everybody for your questions. And talk to y'all soon.